Retail investors versus venture capital. The underdogs versus the bullies. David versus Goliath. The privileged versus the have-nots. Okay, the 99% versus the 1%. Us versus them. Do we even stand a chance? That's what we're going to be talking about today, and we're going to be talking about something called the Cardano Investors Alliance. At the end, I'll be talking about what that is, and there's going to be gold sprinkling of nugget value throughout this whole video, because this is a very important topic. If you're watching this channel right now, you're a retail investor, right? We're retail investors. There's a 99.9% chance that you watching this video, you're a retail investor, even if you're a high net worth individual. There's a difference between us retail investors and the institutions out there, okay? The VC, the venture capital. I'm hearing a lot of retail investors in the cryptocurrency space talk about all kinds of situations like number go up, pump and dump schemes. We really live in a space right now in the cryptocurrency world where there's a very small amount of venture capital. Now I'm talking about crypto overall, but if you look at specifically the Cardano ecosystem, majority of that money in Cardano's market cap is retail investors, people like you and me. And so it's, again, another reason why this channel, Cryptofluency, focuses on the Cardano ecosystem, the Cardano index, the Cardano movement. It's a blockchain that is going to be here to stay. It might move a little slow in as far as market cap, and that's because venture capital hasn't poured in yet. Cardano doesn't pay to play. Right? They're not in that arena where they're paying to play venture capital, giving all kinds of tokens from their treasury, this whole pre-mine phenomenon that you see with a lot of these top coins pumping their bags up and then dumping their money on retail investors that always get whipsawed and slaughtered in the end, right? In Wall Street, they say bulls and bears are the ones battling. Sheeps are on the sideline and pigs get slaughtered. Do you know who they think pigs are? You and I. Dumb money. Retail investors. The crazy thing is that we have an opportunity, unlike ever before in human history, to be a part of something like Cardano, where you and I can come in as retail investors and actually have a fighting chance in participating in one of the greatest wealth transfers ever known to man. And we're going to look at a video that I came across, and it has most privileged. Actually, the title of the video is right here. I have it. It's called Board of Changemakers. Board of Changemakers. Are you a change maker? Who's on this board? There's 12 people. I'll name a few. Ray Dalio from Bridgewater, one of the biggest hedge funds ever created. I mean, the guy literally controls regulations in the United States and the world. Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan. You might know him. Larry Fink. Okay, Larry Fink, David Solomon from Goldman Sachs, and several others just did a big meeting and had a big presentation. And there's a lot of these meetings that go on where they feel like they know and they understand where you are and where you're at. So I'd like to play you a little snippet of Steve Schwartzman talking about us as retail investors and them as institutions.
There's $80 trillion in retail investors, and they're only invested in our area, alternatives, maybe 1%, maybe 2%. When I started in the alternative business in 1985, institutions at that time had 1% or 2%. That was it. Now they're 25%. I think, and I've been planning on this since 2010, which shows you my timing may be off, that there's no reason why retail investors wouldn't want to get the same type of positive experience that institutions do. Institutions are, in one way, a much more stable source of capital because they're very disciplined. They take advantage of dips. The retail investor has more volatility. Sometimes when the world gets in a bad position, They just don't want to invest.
I think we just have to put our heads down, the privileged people in this room, and get on with delivering the solutions.
One of the reasons that I think this place is so exciting is because it's a talent magnet for bringing people like this together to be able to do this entrepreneurship.
You heard Steve Schwartzman. The difference between retail investors and institutional investors, they would argue that they have discipline. And I would completely agree, because everything I see, all the comments that you see in the majority of the cryptoverse is so short-sighted. It's staggering. It is the opposite of discipline. It is, this thing's going up here. This number's going over there. That's not doing anything else. This is the ghost chain. This is that. Okay, and I came up with a term for it. We're ostriches with our heads buried in the sand, while these institutional investors and these venture capital, they rely on how short-sighted they think we are as retail investors, right? That's where their advantage is. Because if we look at the game right now, we as retail investors actually have the advantage, because they have not completely poured in and changed the game and taken over the entire game. And they're doing it right now with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with like Solana, right? Like I put out a bit of videos about this stuff. The top 100 wallets in the entire crypto world. If you study that, you'll see that there is so much manipulation happening where they're trying to colonize the crypto world and take it from us because they understand the power of what we're doing. We lack discipline in their eyes, and that is a major advantage that we have. We have a unique position as Cardano investors, and that's why I've created something called the Cardano Investors Alliance, where we will declare one another as a Cardano investor, and we're in it for more than just number go up. Back in 2017, when I learned from traditional investors, from institutional investors, I went to LA for a mentorship, and it happened to be right at the bull market of 2017. And I met hundreds of blockchain enthusiasts out there, many of which were from the traditional finance world, were institutional investors, were venture capitalists. And then I joined a membership. I joined a mastermind for every single month for 18 months. I went to California, to LA, every single month for 18 months, and I learned for an entire weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, exactly what they think we are as retail investors, what the opportunity was for retail investors right now, and why they quit their jobs in a lot of these firms to trade the volatility of this brand new, beautiful opportunity of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And this is really a lot that had everything to do with leading me towards the Cardano ecosystem. I was invited to the Berkshire Hathaway event, actually. You need a share. You needed a share, which is like, at the time, it was like over $300 and something thousand per share. But because I was plugged into this group and I joined this mastermind, I was able and fortunate enough to attend the 2018 Berkshire Hathaway Summit, where I listened to Warren Buffett himself and Charlie Munger himself field questions all day long, and met so many incredible people, lots of institutional and venture capitalists. So I have a lot of time spending time around them. I understand how they think. And what you're going to get here at Cryptofluency, and what I've learned, is to actually be disciplined with what we're doing. Because you're going to lose. You're going to lose. If you're in this game for the short term, for this pump, for this dump, if you're really not in it for value, then this isn't for you. You're not going to be in it for a long period of time. You're constantly going to be chasing the carrot stick. I want to expose this for you guys and gals out there, because the opportunity is amazing. If you're an investor right now in Cardano, I don't think you quite understand what kind of leverage that you have. And the Cardano Investors Alliance is to help us understand that value and that power. One of the things I learned at the Berkshire Hathaway Summit was an example of a couple that began to invest in Berkshire Hathaway in the very beginning. kind of like it's right now in Cardano world, right? There's a little bit of an analogy and a parallel here. When Warren Buffett was building Berkshire Hathaway and his businesses, if you look back at what he was doing, a lot of the stuff was very quiet, right? I mean, you didn't know Warren Buffett from the other guy. And a lot of his investments took tons of time to mature, over a decade in some cases. And some of his loyal investors have had the privilege of understanding and recognizing this entire concept of value investing. Warren Buffett was a protege of Benjamin Graham, the one who brought the concept of value investing. And I studied that there. I studied it. And I continue to study value investing as it relates to the cryptocurrency market specifically for that 18-month period that kickstarted me into where I'm at today, which led me to Cardano. Because if you concern yourself about value, utility, security, future scalability, not just what is going on right now, and the fact that this coin is just faster or this coin is cheaper or whatever the case may be, if you have to organize all of the measures together to actually make your assessment. That's what these institutional investors are doing, these venture capitalists. They're focused on more than just one little concept. And that's where we as retail investors, we make the mistake. We're just concerned with one thing. Oh, this thing is important to me. Number go up. That's it. Speed right now, actively, is what I'm concerned about. And that's it. And we put our blinders on. And that's where the ostrich comes out. I want to transform ostriches into eagles. Okay, ostriches can't even fly. They can't even get off the ground, can they? They're just running around in circles and burying their heads in the sand. I'd rather be an eagle soaring up into the high atmosphere with my nests on tops of the tallest trees with complete vision and eyesight. That's what I want to be. And that's what I would love you to be, an eagle, rather than this ostrich that's just focused on one thing, narrow-minded, narrow-focused. Because if we band together, if we come together as Cardano investors or Cardano index investors, we could literally make history together. You know, the last time this was ever seen throughout history was GameStop. We saw retail investors win against those VC investors. Just for a short amount of time though, didn't they? Why? Because we're together, we're more. They might have more money, but together we have more. And if we hold and we play the game differently, we have a lot of strength, okay? Diamond bags, we want to hold because we can do it. This is a completely different game, this crypto game. It makes that Robin Hood, GameStop situation look like a drop in the bucket of opportunity for what we can actually do to leverage. Because venture capital is not in the space yet, but very soon, there are going to be changes in Cardano's treasury, in the governance. The Chang hard fork combinator event is coming right down the road very soon, which is going to unlock all aspects of Cardano's Voltaire system. Going to be one of the most major important upgrades in Cardano's lifetime. Cardano improvement proposals, they're called CIPs, CIP 1694 is coming to fruition. I voted on that one, by the way. And just as a parenthesis, like let's pause here for a second. Join Cardano's Intersect. Become a founding member of the governance of Cardano. That's another thing. No other chain out there is accomplishing decentralized on-chain governance like Cardano. Okay? End of parentheses there. Join Intersect. Check Intersect out. Go to Intersect website and at least read and understand. You might not even know that a members-based organization exists for you to have a say. Okay, do you really have a say in what's going on in Solana and some of these other top ones in the list? You don't. And the longer those projects mature, the less and less sovereign wealth you are going to have. So it's exciting. And when these changes happen in the Cardano ecosystem, the treasury is going to be released to the community. And some people have a big opinion on venture capital with Cardano. And once these treasury funds come out, I'm sure that there's going to be sections of people that are going to lobby to distribute that money and finally go after venture capital, because now Cardano can absolutely take on this scale. Charles Hoskinson used to put out videos way back in the day, and he'd be like, everybody'd be like, why don't you go on Joe Rogan? Why don't you go on Joe Rogan? And he would have this saying, Rogan after Gogan, meaning the Gogan hard fork. Okay? Look at Cardano's website. Understand what they're doing. Their hard fork combinator events are unlike anything any other chains can do. They don't restart their protocols and disrupt the system, sacrifice security. The Gogan hard fork was immense. The Chang hard fork right now is right here. And they're now ready to scale the Cardano ecosystem. And so there is a short amount of time for us to get in to the game before the venture capitalists pour on into Cardano once they understand the true value. And once value investors, they're disciplined, they're smart, they're savvy. They're going to sink their teeth in. They're going to get in, and they're not coming in with thousands of dollars. They're not even coming in with millions of dollars. They're going to come in with billions and billions of dollars. And they're going to whipsaw you out of the game. Why? Because your portfolio, and this is the second aspect of the video, your portfolio might say $100,000. You might put in $2,000, and now all of a sudden it says $100,000, and you're boom. What do? Are you going to sell? They hope you will. They hope you'll sell because they'll easily buy it from you. Because it's going to be so hard for you to get back in the game once you do whatever you're doing with that $100,000. What if you put $10,000 in and now it's $1 million? So I'd like to ask you the question, what's your number? What's the number where you would be completely surprised, so much so that you'd like sell? Is it $1 million? You'd be a millionaire and you're going to get your Lambo, you're going to get your whatever it is. Yeah, you fill in the blank. Is it 5 million? Is it 10 million? Going back to that couple from the Berkshire Hathaway event, we learned about a story. They died within months of each other. In fact, it was a very special occasion. One of them died. I think it was the husband died on Thanksgiving and the wife died on Christmas. It was a really special thing. They died with $700 million in their will. That spoke to me and many magnitudes. Now, they didn't just leave themselves poor, that couple. They had fine things in their lives. But if they would have sold out in the first bull run, if they would have sold out way back in the day, they never would have been anywhere near where they were in the end. They would never have been mentioned because there is a power in holding strong. $700 million in the end. So what's your number? Is it $1 million? Is it 10 million? Are those numbers intimidating? That's something that I had to come to terms with at this LA event that I went to every time. They said, what's your number? The guy running the event said if he made $1 million a month, he would have a heart attack. And that absolutely freaked me out. I remember leaving that night and actually having like a breakdown moment because I was so staggered by those numbers. It was so intimidating. But I'm so thankful I went through the process of visualizing that stuff because this is our third bull run here. Cryptofluency. This is our third bull run. We're not like new to the rodeo. And I'm so thankful that I understood that because once you understand discipline, you then trade with institutions. You trade with venture capital. You understand how to trade with them instead of against them. And you become smart money. I don't even know if the term exists. You become a smart money retail investor, let's say that. And they're out there and they're growing because they understand that the opportunity of all lifetimes as far as wealth transfer is occurring before our very eyes right now. So I want to call all of you Cardano investors together. if you want to declare yourself as part of the Cardano Investors Alliance, which means you're in it for the long haul. And so where are you going to get shaken out of the game? Where are you going to get shaken out? What's going to be that glittery object for you? Is it the million? Is it the 5 million? Think and ask yourself, is it the 10 million? If you want to be a part of the Cardano Investors Alliance, comment down below and say, hey, I'm a part, I declare myself, right? Because that's all it is. If you want to officially declare yourself part of the Cardano Investors Alliance, go to our website, cryptofluency.io, click the Alliances tab, and just declare yourself. That's all it is. It's just making a statement. It's sort of a declaration. It's something that you're going to declare within yourself, that you are not going to get whipsawed out of this game when VC comes in to Cardano's ecosystem. I declare myself one of these. And this thought came out of what I'm seeing within the Cardano ecosystem. For instance, they have the Cardano DeFi Alliance, the Cardano Stake Pool Alliance, the JED Alliance. Cardano in its own ecosystem is creating alliances within their own DeFi, within the stake pool operators. And I want to speak up for the investors. We're the underdogs. Now, Rocky took some lumps, didn't he? He didn't just win cleanly. It was a tough battle, wasn't it? Took a lot of sacrifice. Wanted to quit, but that doesn't get you anywhere in the end. So in the next video, I'm going to show you what I'm doing specifically in Cardano's DeFi Alliance. And I'm going to show you the power. I'm going to start revealing and unleashing the power of Cardano as this blockchain kingpin.